Welcome back to First Issues. We continue our series on listing value proposition featuring the Botswana Stock Exchange, otherwise known as the BSE. On our previous episode, we found out from Affinitors Limited Executive Director Thapelo that they initially listed to raise capital for their then startup company. Our other guest, Sam Ruisi, who's General Manager at Seedco International, said they listed the company to divert risk from Zimbabwe. In case one wishes to list that company on the BSE, what are the questions that they may need answered? What needs to be in place that would make the company eligible for listing? Our guest this evening is Thapelo Moribame, who is Head of Market Development at the Botswana Stock Exchange. She shares the most frequently asked questions they get asked and their answers.
There are some frequently asked questions about listing, so I'm going to focus on three. The first one is, how do companies start the process of listing? So if you're a company out there and you want to list on the Botswana Stock Exchange, firstly you have to appoint a sponsoring broker, and we currently have 4 brokers: Motswedi Securities, Stock Brokers Botswana, Imara, and African Alliance. So you can appoint any of those 4 brokers, and then you can proceed to assemble your team of advisors, corporate finance advisors, legal advisors. And then once your application is ready, you submit it to the Botswana Stock Exchange, and we take about 5 working days to respond. So depending on the quality of the submission, I think all in all, the listing process takes about 30 days. So the second question is always on whether listing is for bigger companies. Any company can access the market. In fact, at the Botswana Stock Exchange, we operate a multi-tier market system where companies of all sizes can list. We have 3 boards: the TPD board, which is for smaller companies, and then we have the venture board, and then we have the main board. So any company that's willing to list can list on any of those 3 boards. And for the TPD board and the venture capital board, you need not have any operating history. The other question is always on the listing fees. And obviously we have the listing fees on the Botswana Stock Exchange website, so any prospective issuer can look at that. And then the issuer also has total control over what they ultimately pay for the listing process, depending on the advisors that they would appoint.
The political stability the country continues to enjoy is said to be one of the reasons international companies find listing in Botswana worth their while.
Our selling point as a market is the fact that Botswana has abundant capital from pension funds that is looking for assets to invest in. So case in point, in the year 2019, for example, I think about 30% of the assets were invested onshore, with a significant percentage invested on listed securities. So this really supports the notion that as a market, we have abundant capital chasing too few assets. So as such, we encourage companies, both domestic and foreign, to take advantage of this abundant capital. There are a number of factors that make it easy for foreign companies and domestic companies to list on the Botswana Stock Exchange. Firstly, the fact that Botswana does not have restrictions on the inflows and outflows of currency. So that makes it easy for investors to raise capital here and expand to the rest of the world. Botswana has strong macroeconomic fundamentals with a strong focus on price stability. And we also have a very stable political environment because we hold elections every 5 years. So that gives investors comfort that this is a market that they can access.
This program was brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?